some general guidelines and staff policies and procedures, and then Amy's going to go through communication, and we're going to start kind of doing, jumping into communication and what will make you successful in communication between staff, kids, parents, community, YMCA, all the different people that we interact with. So the first portion, if you take a look at the gray part here, the first part is a letter from me to you. As a day camp associate, this is information that's important to me. Welcome to the YMCA Summer Camp Program. As a youth development leader and summer day camp counselor, you've accepted an incredibly important, influential, and impactful position. Thank you for joining our team. At the YMCA, helping our community's youth learn, grow, develop is a responsibility we take very seriously. Each summer, thousands of parents trust the care of their sons and daughters to us, and it's our responsibility that we do not take lightly. Helping a child learn positive values such as caring, honesty, respect, and responsibility, and faith provides each child a foundation which to build lifelong success. Today's youth needs role models who will encourage, support, and challenge them to grow into trusted friends, respectful sons and daughters, caring neighbors, capable leaders, and for them to be able to tell the difference between right and wrong. The potential influence that you have on campers is endless. It's a very awesome job. It's also a huge responsibility. Counselors have to be alert, know what's going on with the kids at all times. It requires thinking faster than the kids and being able to implement a plan B at only a moment's notice. Camp staff must be a parent, a teacher, a role model, a security guard, a nurse, a referee, an entertainer, a responsible adult all at once. Letting down your guard for even a moment could lead to disaster. Remember how much fun I remember how much fun I had leading youth and participating in ridiculous camp skits, singing crazy camp songs, and inventing rules for new games to keep every day at camp fresh and exciting. Working camp may be just one of the best summers you have ever. I also remember working alongside my fellow camp associates and a terrific group that were all committed to helping campers grow in spirit, mind, and body, as those were our areas of impact at the time. Learning leadership skills will also help you in your future. Make no mistake, it's a long, hot summer. You need to be safe, take plenty of water breaks, and enjoy your days off. Because that way you're prepared for the final weeks of camp, and that you have to draw on that reserve of enthusiasm, energy, creativity. You will need to be your best for the campers from the start of the summer all the way through to the end of the summer. I guess those of you that don't know, I started working here in 1999. I did my my practicum here I graduated with a degree in Human Development and Family Studies, the minor in psychology. I started my master's work in becoming a counselor, a guidance counselor. So I started as a assistant site director at the Cougar Club, which was the 5th and 6th grade group. That summer, I learned a lot. First of all, Cougar Club's name changed drastically in the next coming years. But that was the last summer that we were in that space in the lower level. We tried the upper level, and the church did not enjoy us in that space anymore. But I learned how to chase kids when they ran from the program through the local area down there, because it used to be on 2nd Street. Then that kid was running towards the Eau Claire YMCA. I learned that even when you're not the lifeguard, you can still pull kids out of the water that don't know how to swim. I learned that I can make some really sweet luster lace bracelets, and kids are pretty impressed. I learned that I set the precedence that it's cool to eat raw ramen noodles as a snack, because I ate that, so the kids started eating that, and the parents were, I don't know if they're appreciative, but it was a cheap snack, so I think that was okay at that time. The influence and the experience that you have is more impactful if you recognize it. And I'm asking you guys to understand that, yes, you're gonna have a good time. Yes, it's a good experience for you, but there's so much more in it. So I'm going to push you guys to plan to put that so much more in it and think in order to get that out of the summer. So that's what my letter to you guys is about. And then the backside talks about to the camp counselors from the camper. Things that I feel like Otherwise have kind of pooled together, and we got this from the YWSA, different things that are just nice reminders. From the camper, please remember, don't spoil me. I know quite well I ought not to have all the things I ask for. I'm only testing you. Don't be afraid to be firm with me. I prefer it, but don't admit it. It makes me feel more secure to have understandable boundaries. Don't let me form bad habits. I rely on you to detect them in early stages. Don't use force with me. It teaches me that power is all that counts. I will respond more readily to being led. Don't correct me in front of people if you can help it. I take much more notice if you talk to me quietly in private. Don't protect me from consequences. I need to learn from experience. Don't take too much notice to my small ailments. I may learn to enjoy poor health. It gets me too much attention. Don't nag. If you do, I'll protect myself by appearing deaf. Don't do things for me that I can do for myself. It makes me feel like a baby. Don't make promises you can't keep. I feel let down and betrayed when promises are broken. Don't be inconsistent. That completely confuses me and makes me lose faith in you. Don't tax my honesty too much. I'm basically honest and open, but I can be easily frightened into telling smaller or larger lies. Don't tell me my fears are silly. They're terribly real to me, and you can do much more if you reassure me and take the time to try to understand. Don't put me off when I ask questions. If you do, I'll stop asking and seek the information from other sources. Don't ever suggest to me you're perfect or infallible. It gives me too great a shock when I find out that you're neither. Don't ever think it's beneath you to apologize to me when you're wrong. An honest apology makes me feel surprisingly warm towards you. Don't forget, I love to experiment with new things and try new activities. Don't try to preach to me. You'd be surprised how well I already know that what's right and wrong. Don't forget how quickly I'm growing up and changing. It must be difficult for you to understand me when I don't even understand myself, but please try. Finally, don't forget that I can't thrive without lots of understanding and love. I need you to be an adult for me, a role model, someone I can look up to and respect, but I don't need to tell you, do I? So it's just a nice reminder that they don't need a friend and a playmate. They need a role model and someone to set up expectations and structure so that they can grow and look up to you and look to you to be that person. Okay, so now we kind of lay that precedence and kind of what we're looking for, and then there's the general policies and procedures and different things. These are the kind of the questions, speaking of expectations, that I can lay out for you guys, so then hopefully answer some of your unanswered questions about some general things. What do we wear? What do we have to do? Where do we go? A couple different general policies and procedures. One, you have to understand the 3 areas of impact. I've mentioned it a couple different times. It's that friendship. Those are our 3 areas of impact that we're always looking and will constantly refer to. Regardless of the site, building your equipment, our program, the staff will need to make or break a camp. As a counselor, your first to understand the line of authority. I am the school-age child care director, so I guess that bottoms out with me at number 1. Darn it. And then right below is the coordinators. Amy is one of the school-age child care coordinators, and then we're pleased to announce that someone named Spencer Kempf, I think we're announcing the name correctly, he is going to be the new coordinator that we recently hired to take place. Charlotte is leaving at the end of the week, who some of you met yesterday. So he will start May 30th, and he is going to take on the lead in the sense of curriculum and a lot of our individual diagnoses and those types of things. Charlotte started some of the information and bringing forth some of that information, and then we'll transfer that to Spencer, and then he'll kind of house and hold and track all of that for us going forward. So we're pretty excited about bringing on a new member. He just graduated from Eau Claire. He's got a degree in secondary education, and he's coming with 5 years experience working at a YMCA summer camp in Hudson. So we're excited to bring him on board. So that's gonna be the other coordinator. Amy is, for those of you that don't know, the health and food service is her area of focus. I handle the focus of administration and those types of things, but we all kind of cover everything. so you can come talk to any of us at all given time. Program coordinators, it goes site directors. You guys have met your site directors yesterday in your group. And then assistant site directors, sometimes we do have assistant site directors, at this time we don't. Everyone is either a site director. And then camp counselors. Some counselors have additional responsibilities. That's where the bus drivers and the lifeguards come in. So that's kind of the line of authority. Our relationships. My role and expectations are as a resource for behavior modification, lesson planning, concerns with staff, or anything else that you have concerns with if you request it. A contact person to be notified of all subs or changes in the schedule, and then provide resources for parents and school regulations or parent conferences as needed. Basically any winding communication in that sense. As a program coordinator, their roles are getting supplies for breakfast and necessities. You need to notify her when anything is running low, responsible for purchasing craft and projects and supplies. That's gonna fall under Spencer, but some of the other staff are gonna be purchasing. A contact person to notify all subs and changes of schedule, again, either one of them, two. And then with SAC directors unavailable, you see them with any concerns. And then collection of all form sheets and reports at the end of each week. Site directors and assistant site directors, their role is to hold all recreation leaders or counselors responsible to the guidelines that are in this manual. Plan and organize the site schedules, activities, rules, behavior modifications, positive reward system, staff communication, and monthly meetings. So is that kind of clear on who does what? But everybody, remember, is responsible for knowing all that stuff and be able to step up into those roles and responsibilities. Counselor expectations, this is your general talk here, and you guys can kind of look through this later, but it's basically saying no smoking, no drinking, no alcohol on premises at all times. Keep conversations child-oriented, no discussions about going out, dating, personal business, and not child-appropriate. Don't use code words. I'm gonna go play Monopoly at my brother's house. They all know that Brothers is a bar, and they know Monopoly means drinking beer. They're not stupid. The kids catch on because sometimes their parents are at the same bar you are, and then their parents are like, oh, I saw so-and-so, and then they'll talk to you about it. No, don't do that. Change the subject, rearrange. Don't bring pictures from someone's birthday party. Don't flip on your Facebook and be like, oh, last night was so fun, in front of the kids. They want to be like you. So they will pick up on that and be right there with you. Spread out while working with the kids. There should be 2 staff with less than 10 children. Don't huddle with other staff. Notify the director within 24 hours if you are convicted of a crime and being investigated or have had your license revoked pertaining to any position at the YMCA. I need to know that because it changes your background checking, all those other things, and then I need to notify licensing. So please be mindful. Healthy living. We'll kind of talk a little bit about HEPA. HEPA is our healthy eating physical activity standards. Staff should model and promote healthy eating by sitting and eating with the youth when they're eating, discussing the benefits of snacking components with the kids. Do not bring or consume personal food beverages in front of your kids that do not align with our HEPA standards. Fast food, soft drinks, energy drinks are not allowed to be brought into the program. Water should be the only beverage you're drinking at the Y. Water helps keep hydrated and modeled for youth the importance of drinking plenty of water throughout the days. So we know that's going to be a stressful one for those of you, especially in the morning. Do you want to take that?
Sure. Yeah, I drink coffee. Otherwise, I'm not gonna. It would not be pretty. Try to drink as much of your coffee before you get here. If you still have someone near here, that's fine. Like, finish it within the first 5-10 minutes of being here, and then be done. Then have water. Okay? No, I'm saying no to energy drinks because they're bad for you anyways. So you can fight me on that. That's fine. And no soda, please. You can have as much soda before and after, but not in, because we don't like that our children bring soda, because you'll see kids that have the gas station lunch. They'll have a big soda, a slice of pizza, or whatever you can get a quick drink. Yeah. So if you guys can model that, I'm not gonna really fight you on the coffee, because I gotta give you something, but no energy drinks, no soda.
Starbucks, super mocha, blah, blah, blah.
And when I say coffee, like, I mean, you can bring your thermos, okay? Like, I don't want Starbucks, I don't want Caribou, like, it's gonna save you money anyways.
So just be mindful that we're trying to model those things. And that, like I said, my running joke when I started working and the kids started eating raw ramen noodles, the kids eat whatever you eat. We had a staff member that was huge into working out, and we used to bring 6 dozen raw egg, or hard-boiled eggs. And the kids, by the end of the summer in his group, were bringing hard-boiled eggs. Like, they eat what you eat. They walk the way you walk. They wear the same clothes that you wear. People that wear cutout t-shirts, and then the kids are wearing cutout t-shirts. We tie-dye, they tie-dye. You guys role model way more than you understand. So we're asking you to role model this. Plus, how many of you guys haven't really tried to decrease the amount of soda that you drink anyway? We're just helping you with that goal.
Also, like, just a blanket statement, not that you're gonna do this early in the morning, but who knows? Like, don't bring a Blizzard in. Don't go to Culver's and get a shake or anything like that. Just don't. Cause like, how would you feel if Autumn and I are up here eating Culver's? You'd be like, well, that's stupid, I want Culver's. Think about that from a child's perspective. So don't do anything like that. Not gonna fight you on the coffee, but abide by the other things. And if it's truly an issue, you can come see me at another time.
Or complain about it amongst yourselves as a group, and then we'll overhear it later and talk to you about it. Okay, attendance. Arrive on time. If you're going to be late, let your staff know. We all count on you at a certain time. The kids count on you. You're pulling them out of another space at a certain time. You need to be on time. It messes up ratio. It messes up what's going on. We're trying to plan activities. Be on time. If you're not going to be on time, let the people know that it depends on, hours of work, lunch breaks. You work a full 8-hour shift. We don't provide paid breaks because of the way the shift is functioning, but we will be giving you appropriate time to go to the bathroom and eat your meals with the students. So, but if this is something that, health reasons wise, or something's going on, or you need breaks or something like that, you need to touch base with me, and then we'll see what we can do to figure out how that works. We've had health-related concerns and different things come up throughout the years that we've had to figure out, so I just need to know about that. Holidays, vacations, sick leaves of absence. We're closed during these key holidays. You are part-time or seasonal employees, so they're unpaid. You're considered seasonal employees, and you're not eligible for paid time off. But you can take 10 unpaid vacation days, which we've talked about and you've given me in your form. If you need to tell me in advance later, exactly that. When you have days that you need off, email me, talk to me, and we'll communicate that way. If it's within that week, that might be a struggle, so we'll figure out what we can. Same thing, you talked to me about subs, and it's just hard because adventure camp wise, we need to have so many lifeguards, we have to have so many bus drivers, and people are taking off, then I have to weave it and turn it and change it and flip it, and then sometimes that's pulling from over here to there, so you have to talk to me. Sometimes you guys decide as a group, we can figure it out, and then you figure it out and you can present it to me. You can do that, but it's still not a guarantee because I'm the one that knows, well, actually, you're doing this, here, there, go. So there's a lot more than what you think, so you just have to trust me. Cell phones are not allowed to be used for longer than 1 minute during your work day. The only time cell phones can be used as a tool. The minute you are on your cell phone, you're not a part of ratio. So if you're not a part of ratio during that time, the licensor literally told me yesterday that when she sees anyone, she literally takes them away from you. So I guess that's how we're gonna kind of handle it and figure it out because she knows that then you're not part of ratio. I did talk to her. This is my stance on it. Cell phones can be used as a tool. You guys are all going to be downloading the WhatsApp at some point, and you're all going to be in a team. So then your open closers know what's going on. You guys can mass announce what's going on if there's any changes to the schedule. That's a tool. But your demeanor and what you do and how you do and what you look at when you do those things are different than when you're flipping through Facebook quick or you're doing your quick whatever. Do not be on your phones for social media or communication. It's a tool and a tool only. How to dress. Basic dress guidelines. Staff persons are required to wear their name badges. Do not wear your pajamas or sweatpants to work. T-shirts and sweatshirts are acceptable with only appropriate advertising or sayings on them. Full strap tank tops are allowed, not like the thin strapped ones unless they're underneath something. Mondays and Fridays are mandatory day camp t-shirt day. Please refrain from wearing your YMCA apparel out at the bars or at parties. So if you leave work and go out as a group on a Monday or a Friday, please bring along another shirt to change into, because I really don't need your pub crawl to be with YMCA t-shirts on. That makes sense. That's not the advertisement I'm looking for. Okay. No short shorts. All clothing should cover the stomach, chest, butt, back, and undergarments, meaning your trunk should be covered. Please remember to keep your appearance neat and clean as well. Dressing for the pool, women, one-piece swimsuits are preferred. Tankinis that overlap are also allowed, which means when your arms go up, they're still overlapped and meet. So that's how you know whether or not that tankini is going to be eligible to be still worn. One-piece swimsuits, I'm told, are coming back in style. So, but please make sure the scoop backs, those come off very easily when you're holding on to kids or whatever. When they go to grab you, they grab a strap, the scoop backs come down. So if there's not a crisscross in the back to hold it from being pulled, it will come all the way down. I had one scoop back that first summer. I wore it one day. So don't do it. Men, you're going to want to wear compression shorts underneath your swim trunks, or you have a similar problem. So these are my helpful suggested guidelines for you. Obviously, one-piece swimsuits, some of the women's one-piece swimsuits have a deep V. You're not going to want that either. Kids hang on you. Kids, and we don't, and that's something that we'll talk about for safety reasons. You don't want them to hang on you to the point where they're drowning you, but they're going to play with you and you're going to be in the water. So just be mindful of that. And then we talked about the babysitting and patronization in there already. Supervision. Know the ratio and the kid counts of all the campers in your group at all times. Never leave a group unsupervised. Be able to see the kids at all times. Maintain a safe and fun environment. Scan the program area before using it to ensure it's clean, free of debris, clutter, trash, or any hazardous items. That means like when you come to a new playground, you're going to want to look around. The slides, could be used condoms, drug paraphernalia, the word swear words written down. I'm going to try not to swear today. Swear words written on the inside in Sharpie or scratched into things. You're going to want to see these things before they happen. There's also huge puddles at the bottom of a slide that you want to try and prevent that first kid from shooting out and ended up having to use your change of clothes for that, or a kid wearing a swimsuit for the rest of the day. So you're going to want to evaluate that stuff. Same thing when you go into the bathrooms for the first time. If you're going into the bathrooms, are they really gross? Are they really disgusting? You want to find out that before you send a kid in there, so then we can be prepared for what's going on. Stay on your feet. You should always be actively engaged with your group. Report any accidents or injuries. So do your minor, your med log, and let us know so then the parents know. Clean the tables and areas your group uses. So your site should look as good when you arrive as when you leave, if not better. You should be actively engaged with the kids at all times. Hey, I have that in there twice, must be important. If a child needs to leave the program area to go to another program, such as swimming, summer school, or etc., a release form must be on file and filled out by that parent. That's that alternate release form. Discovery Camp is going to be the key piece of that probably, so you need to make sure that those are on file for that. And then boundaries need to be given at every location for active play. My suggestion, bus drivers, before you let a group off, make sure that there's been boundaries established. So when they're still sitting in their seats, sit down and say, okay, next we're going to do activity period 1. If you want to do the craft, you're going to go to this space. If you're going to do this game, you go over here. And if you're going to release to the playground, then you say, here are the boundaries of the playground. Owen Park, sometimes that you can't go over to the exercise area. Sometimes they have to stay on the wood chips. Create your boundaries before, otherwise don't be shocked when they run all over and go different places and you got kids like, poof. So be mindful of your boundaries. Build positive relationships with the kids, get to know them individually as soon as possible. Get to know the parents. Parents do not bite. Say hello. Your role when you talk to them, if you're a parent table, or if you're with the kids, you still need to know if you're with the kids, who's picking up and dropping off. As a parent, when I come in, even if you're like, have a good night from over there, that means that you know what's going on in this room. But if you say nothing and then the parent table person's like, bye, do I think you guys have your stuff together? No, I don't. I feel like I could take my kid, you guys would have no idea. Think about that with before and after school care, especially. If your sign-in sheet's on the inside and the parent comes out and they're coming out on the playground, they're like, time to go, Susie. And then she comes and goes. No one said anything to her, even though whoever's in the playground where Susie just left knows that she's leaving, and I know that parent. But if you didn't be like, have a good night, how do I know that you know that someone didn't just take my kid? It's all very simple. And if she says hello and says good night, I'm more apt to be like, hey, did you have a good day? Or hey, da-da-da-da, and have that conversation instead of assuming. And then when I do have a problem, I'm not going to, all of a sudden when parents have a problem, then they're like, yeah, they totally don't ever talk to us. I don't even know their names. I bet you they've never been introduced. All of those things start bulleting them. No, we're not doing that. Grievance. If you have a problem with any employees or me, feel free to, if you feel like you're being discriminated against, harassed, immediately contact their supervisor. So if it's your site director, you contact me. If it's me, then you contact the executive director. In cases of accusations against immediate supervisor, the employee should notify another individual in the chain of authority, which we just talked about. In the event the complaint involves the executive director, the employee should contact the YBUSA, a local consultant, which someone can help you find as well. All accusations are handled in a confidential manner. Frivolous complaints will be dealt with through the disciplinary process. No employee will be penalized formally or informally for voicing a complaint in a reasonable, business-like manner or filing a complaint. I have an open door policy. Come talk to me. I can problem solve to help you make that successful on your own. I can problem solve to help me help you help the situation get better, or I can just listen. So I'm pretty good at it. I'm confident Amy's pretty good at it, so please feel comfortable coming to touch base with us. If you want to make sure that you're going to see us when you come, you might want to text first and be like, hey, are you going to be in your office in 10 minutes? So then we can make sure that we are wherever you want us to be. I don't think I'm scary, so feel free to come in. Point system. Tardiness, 2 points. Being more than 10 minutes late without notice. Unapproved day off, 3 points. Being absent for all other reasons other than illness or emergency without 48-hour notice. And no attempt to find a sub. Improper call in sick is 5 points, meaning you didn't call in and you didn't talk to me. No call, no show, 10 points. Second no call, no show, being let go. When you accumulate points, 5 points is an oral warning, 10 points written, 15 points written, 20 points being let go from the program. We reserve the right to assign any inappropriate behavior a certain number of value of points and evaluate it for grounds of immediate dismissal. Meaning, if you lose a child, there's no points for that. You will most likely be let go. So there's different ranks of that expectation. Don't lose a child. So any sort of misbehavior can be assigned points at any given time. Points are bad in this case scenario, which is kind of a negative reinforcement system, but I don't want to start you all with 20 points and have you lose it, so we're doing it this way. Are there any questions on points or accumulation of points? Room and area maintenance, making sure that you're keeping track of everything, making sure that you're wiping it down, making sure that we're not leaving it messy. I definitely have a high level of I like things to be a certain way. I understand that things kind of get crazy, but I will come in, right, Anna? I will come into your space and clean. I like things, I have to be able to find things that I know that are supposed to be there. So organize your room and keep it organized as a team of staff. Have your own areas and keep it clean. Food policies and procedures we've talked about. Breakfast, this is a misprint, is actually from 7 to 8, so you can correct that if you'd like. Everything is supplied through Amy for this, so if there's any problems with that, we've kind of gone through all of that. Registration and enrollment. I'm gonna let you guys look through this while I go take over Amy's tour. But the only other thing that I want to go over with you before that is healthy eating, physical activity I talked about. This is HEPA is where there's different guidelines to be HEPA compliant. Beverages have to include no sugar, and so it's basically water. It has to be accessible and available for kids at all times. Only water or unflavored 1% milk. Family engagement means we have to engage the families into some of our activities. The food are served family style to encourage social development. Physical activity has to be at least 60 minutes a day, which we have in the bag. And then screen time. Screen time, and it talks about the limits there. Less than 1 hour a day for full day. The only time that we do screen time is when we do movies, and the only time we really do movies is on rain days occasionally. That's not our go-to every single time. So we pride ourselves on not utilizing screens here. Not gonna lie, there's a lot of research right now where I think our program may be detoxing kids from some of the screens that they're used to. You're gonna find that a lot of kids aren't used to having to deal with the fact that the person sitting next to them is bothering them, because normally they can just go to their screen and do their thing, and it doesn't matter what this person next to them is. So dealing with being uncomfortable is sometimes something that we have to teach them how to deal and how to appropriately say to that person, please stop. So HEPA, the other initiative is we still have time for the kids to read every day. So in your room, the kids have to have in their schedule an opportunity to read. Usually the best time to do this is after the day, at the end of the day, or after lunch for the staff that are on site. But reading should be always something that's a part of the day. We do our best to try to prevent that summer dip. And then what I'm going to do is have the site directors kind of talk to you guys as a group what a typical schedule looks like. You can see the different components and the expectations during that time. But sometimes when you do that, if you look at the backside, you see how sometimes, yes, we have the opening ceremonies every day. That might be this camp. But the first day might be a little different because that's the first day of the week. So maybe the huddle groups and the small group times might take a little bit longer. So now we don't have that activity period 1, we only have activity period 2 because that's going to take longer. So while this is our general schedule, you guys as a team are going to develop your actual schedule, and it might shift throughout the week. So you guys need to kind of talk about that a little bit. So I'm going to let the site directors talk about that while I go relieve Amy so she can jump into communication.